Alright, welcome back everybody. So today we're going to be going over my BoneSlinger builds and what I've come to create for the Season 2 for the BoneSlinger. It's going to be a little bit more in-depth guide on how the mechanics work, what you need to have to make it work, and everything else in between. So if you guys like this build and want to see more innovative Necro builds, make sure you like and subscribe. So we're going to get right into it. We're going to go over the aspects, the gear stats, what you want to prioritize. We're going to go over the Paragon tree and just essential gameplay loops on how to make this build work and feel good for you. So for the gear to start off, we're going to be using the disobedience aspect. We want max essence, cooldown reduction, and total armor on every piece of gear we have. In the helm, max life is good. There's not much better you can do here. So this is all pretty much perfect stats that you want to get for the helm. Key piece of our gear is the Blood Artisan's Cuirass. We get Bone Spirit skill levels from this, and we get free casts of Bone Spirit when we're consuming our Blood Orbs. Essentially, the main loop of this build is that we're making Blood Orbs to consume them with our Blood Lances, which is going to cast the Bone Spirits for free, and that will be our main source of damage. When we're casting the Bone Spirits, we want to have a full HP pool, because with the Blood Artisan's Cuirass, it's going to be using our current life percent instead of our current mana percent for the Bone Spirit. We still get some buffs from having a big essence pool and full essence, but we won't be getting the multiplicative damage from Bone Spirit when you're casting it to get your mana. So when you cast Bone Spirit, it takes all your mana away. You won't be getting this 3% per essence spent when casting, because you're not using as essence to cast this, if that makes sense. So continuing on, in the gloves, we want attack speed to make the gore quills feel better, crit chance because we need 100% crit chance with Bone Spirit. We restore a primary resource and some Blood Lance skills to just help clear mobs. Blood Lance actually ends up doing a couple of 100,000 damage, so it does clear the white mobs pretty easy. On our legs here, we use two different legs, Temerities and Tibalts. Tibalts is our damaging legs. It helps for bosses, gives us our mana essence, our essence regen that we need a little bit more for single target. And then Temerity is for mapping with the shields. It's going to keep our HP pool nice and healthy, which is going to keep our Bone Spirits doing the maximum damage we can. For the boots, we use Flicker Step. We're trying to reset our ultimate as much as possible, so these are going to help. We're going to be dashing through enemies consistently, trying to reset our ultimate as fast as possible to get those blood orbs out from our ultimate as quickly as possible. Our wand is just all damage, so we're getting crit damage with bone skills, vulnerable damage, and intelligence. We get the serration aspect in it, just more damage for Bone Spirit. Our amulet here, this is our defensive amulet. You can have a more offensive amulet like this one, where you get points into Evulation and Macabre skills. But we're going with the Grasping Veins aspect in here to get more crit chance and crit damage. This is necessary in your amulet to try to cap our crit chance. On our ring, we're using the Fast Blood Band, so this is going to be giving us a reduced cooldown on our ultimate every time we consume a Blood Orb. And when our ultimate creates 9 Blood Orbs, it's going to be giving us around a 15-second cooldown every ultimate that we cast. So our ultimate goes from 26 seconds down to about 15 seconds, give or take. Ring of Sacrilegious is going to be consuming corpses. This also has max essence on it and life, so it's a pretty good ring for you. Lucky Hit Chance does help this build out, but we're not going to be focusing it. In our focus, we're going to be running Blood Wave fires 2 additional waves. This is giving us more blood orbs instead of 3 from the original wave. We're going to be getting 9 per ultimate. That goes over all the aspects in gear. Now we're going to be going into the abilities. For the abilities, we're running Hemorrhage 2 points. We're running Blood Lance 1 point. We go into Supernatural Blood Lance, giving us a Blood Orb every 6 casts and some overpower damage. Sometimes kills white mobs. It's very nice. 2 points into Hued Flesh, some corpse generation for the boss so that we can cast our corpse tendrils to give us crit. Blood Mist, and then Ghastly Blood Mist to give us some more corpses in case there's none on the ground. 3 points into Grim Harvest some essence regeneration, 3 points into Field of Death, some more damage, 3 points into Amplify damage, some more damage, Decrepify, and then Abhorrent Decrepify. This is going to give us our cooldown reduction even further for our ultimate. Corpse Tendrils and Bladed Corpse Tendrils. This is going to give us huge blood orbs when we're mapping. This is a huge source of blood orbs in this build and makes mapping possible. So we have Bone Spirits flying out to everything. We don't have to worry about grouping up and setting up. We can just go in and cast our Blood Lances to consume as many blood orbs as we can and just let those Bone Spirits fly. We put all our points into Bone Spirit we can and get Dreadful Bone Spirit. This is going to help our essence cost. If you're struggling with crit chance, you can go into here too. You're just going to have to use Tibbolts to keep your essence up because you will slowly run out during mapping. 3 points into Serration, crit chance. 1 point into Rapid Observation. This doesn't help because we're not using essence to cast bone skills or really using much essence period in this build. Bloodlance does use a bit of essence, but this isn't going to help. Bone skills deal 15% increased crit damage to vulnerable enemies. This is good. Then we go Blood Wave, Prime Blood Wave, and Supreme Blood Wave. This is giving our blood orbs as Blood Wave travels. 3 into Standalone, 3 into Memento Mori. We go 3 into Aspiring Leader to give us more attack speed. This is really nice. And when we're using Temerity, this is almost always up. And Ossified Essence. All right, so those are the skill points. Now we'll go into the Paragon tree real quick. We'll just go over this real quick. There'll be a build guide in the description so you can copy it. But right now, we're using in the starter graph Blood Drinker. We're using Essence in the Bone Graft built Paragon board. We run into these yellow nodes here. This is giving us max Essence here, max life and armor here, and crit damage with bone skills here. All very good nodes to get. So we move over to the Scent of Death board. We're using the Undaunted glyph with it. We grab these nodes here and here, and we stretch over to here because it's only 4 points and a little bit of damage reduction or damage when there's no corpses. It's a nice little node for 4 points. We move over into the Flesh Eater board where we grab the control glyph. This is probably where I would swap out the control glyph and put in the new Blood Drinker glyph that's going to be coming with the Abattoir of Seer, and load up this passive tree right here, because this isn't going to help you versus bosses, but in the Abattoir of Seer we're not going to be killing bosses, so there's still some play to be doing there. We take Flesh Eater and we take these rare nodes here. Last board, you can play around here. Sometimes I put Territorial or Exploit, but right now in the Bloodbath board I'm running Exploit, and we just take enough to fill out the glyph here. So that's the Paragon board. Like I said, if you want more detail, you can go into the build guide and copy it from there and take a closer look. All right, at the training dummies, we'll show you the mechanics of this build. So every time we cast Blood Wave, we're gonna get blood orbs spawning. When we cast Blood Lance, the Gorquils aspect is gonna consume the blood orbs. We've already collected 3 blood orbs. We need, with our chest, 5 to get a Bone Spirit out. So every time we cast, 1 Blood Lance is going to consume 3 blood orbs with the Gorquils aspect. So when I cast Blood Lance here, I'm going to shoot a Bone Spirit out. And it's going to search for a target. Boom. All right. Pretty simple, right? Now, we want to get as many blood waves as possible out so that we can just sit here and go like this and have Bone Spirits just continuously come out, right? You see how all those Bone Spirits, just a stream of them coming out. Now we have no more blood orbs. Now we're not going to do any damage. So what we want to do is cast Blood Wave and dash and keep going and dash. Blood Wave soft cooldown. We can cast it again. So now we can use auto attacks in between to make our dash cooldown quicker. And now you see how I can dash more often. Okay, now we're gonna start streaming in some blood waves in between the dashes. And we just keep spamming our blood wave. And we keep spamming our blood lances in between casts. And we keep dashing as much as possible, and then we'll hit our curse, and that will help our lucky hit refresh our cooldowns even further. And we can continually just keep casting our blood wave. And that is the main function of the build. because now you're gonna have all these bone spirits from these blood waves, and you can just sit here, and with enough targets you can actually weave your corpse tendrils, your curses, and your blood wave, and just sit here and keep resetting them all. Between the blood orbs you create, the lucky hit chance you get from your apparent decrepify resetting your cooldowns, and your corpse tendril creating blood orbs from the targets it grabs, you're gonna have enough cooldown reduction to keep resetting without even using flicker step. Now, when I'm speedrunning maps, I find a lot of fun just dashing through targets and using my blood wave. But if you wanted more damage in this build, you could potentially use boots with plus skills to bone spirits and just sit back and have a more passive far back play style and just sit here on every set of mobs and cast your blood wave. Put more lucky hit into the build so that you can get even more cooldown procs, and just go to town from back here. I will create another video, this one's already getting too long, of some gameplay of some dungeons if you're interested in seeing how the gameplay actually looks inside the dungeon. I will put a couple clips of some interesting things of how the build actually works, but for full tier 100 clears, I'll have another separate video for you guys to look at. I hope you guys enjoyed the build and the functions of this build. I enjoy playing it a lot. It works really well, and I like how the mechanics all join together to make one fluent, fun playstyle. You're very tanky, you do a lot of damage. It's fun, it's flashy. It's just a good time on a Necro. Until next time, see you guys later.